So, hello, my name is Marcus Knight. I am a student over at Wayne State College, and will be a violin lesson. Here with me again is Laura Gunther. Now, first thing we need to know before we play the violin is knowing the proper positioning, yes?
Yes.
So, first off, you will put down the sponge and rubber band for the time being, and we'll be picking up the violin. Now, when taking care of the violin, always mostly take it by the neck. Because it's such a smaller instrument, you can just take a little bit of it to handle with it, unlike things such as the cello or the bass, where you need both hands to handle it. And now, when you're not playing your violin, most of the time, violin players would have the violin vertical with the butt of the instrument on your lap. Yeah, like that. And yes, you can have your hand on the bout of the instrument however you wish. And now for playing, what we do is that we have the hand on the neck of the instrument and pretend you're holding it aloft, such as the Statue of Liberty. The violin is currently your torch. Now what you're going to do after this is you'll take the violin and rotate it 180 degrees counterclockwise. So, you actually rotate counterclockwise, not that way, but the other way. Sorry. I don't know how to say it, but you would take the violin and the butt of the instrument, you will point that upwards.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. No worries.
And then you will put that butt of the instrument and put it into your neck. Like that. And now you reposition it so that the chin rest, which is this part of the instrument, is nestled on your chin in a comfortable fashion. Once in this position, you need to be able to make sure that the violin doesn't droop down too terribly much and that it doesn't go clear up into the sky like that. You'll need to find a form of middle ground like that. And you don't need to support it with your right hand. Actually, with the violin, they want to make sure, the professionals want you to have it in a way that you could have it clenched between your shoulder and your chin.
Okay. Can I put the sponge on now?
We will get to that shortly.
Okay.
But you don't have to be so firm with it quite yet. With your hand, you are to be sure that you are not too close to the violin. And first, you would need your thumb on the side of the violin, much like that. And then you would put your hands into a square-shaped pattern when you put your fingers onto the violin, like that. In this fashion, it would make things easier to play violin. And you actually don't use your pinky as much. Mostly your first 3 fingers will be used. To make things more comfortable, most violin players have the sponge and rubber band. So now you may pick those up. Of course, the sponge will be between the violin and your shoulder to make things much more comfortable for you to play. And how to place it on there, actually. You had the right idea. You put the rubber band on the lower bout of the violin, right there. And you actually take the other loop and then you string it over the sponge, both strings of the rubber band over the sponge. And then you loop it onto the button, which is that black piece on the bottom of the violin. It's a little bit tricky. But once you get it on there, it stays on.
Which is good.
Yes. Now try it out. Is that better?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. And so, at this point, you can play violin. The first thing to learn is plucking, or plectrum, as they call it. Pizzicato, that's what it is. And you would simply take one finger and then string and pluck it upwards. Yes. And then you have your four strings, which is your C, G, D, and A string. Do me a favor, pluck your C string. Now pluck your A string. Good. Now pluck your D string. Close. Yes. Now, pardon me, pluck your G string. You'll hear that a lot. And those are your four strings. And now onward to the bow. This is a lot similar to the bow that you would use for standing up bass. But, truth be told, this bow is longer than stand-up bass bow. And it's a lot similar in positioning with the bow. However, when you have your finger on the, you have your four fingers. First finger is your pointer finger, second is your middle finger, third is your ring finger, and then fourth is your pinky. The finger number one will be next to the winding, which is that black spiral bit. Your finger number two will be on top of the ferrule, which is the silver part where the horse strings come from. Finger number three, you see that dot which is on the frog?
Mm-hmm.
That where it will be living. And then finger number four doesn't go over the stick, it actually is on top of the stick. Exactly. And then of course you already have it down, you would need to have your hand curved a little towards into the bow. Imagining that you are holding the bow straight out like this, and imagine that you have a drop of water on the back side of your palm. You want to be able to make sure that the drop of water on the back side of your palm falls towards you and not away from you. Excellent. Now into playing position. When in this position, it's best to have the bow facing away from you. And what I mean by that is that you would have the actual stick facing away from you. Meanwhile, the horse hairs are still on the string, like that. Excellent. So in a way, all the horse strings can still be on the strings, but the bow is facing away. Now play for me your C string. Now next string down your G string. Next string down your D string. And next string down your A string. Excellent. Be sure to keep the bow perpendicular to the string so it doesn't fly all over the place. Otherwise, you will not be able to have much of a resonance. Could you try one more time on the C string? One other thing, you don't need as much bow for when you're playing on each string. When you're playing at moderate dynamic, you actually can use a little bit of the middlemost part of your bow. When you're playing at a louder dynamic, you would use more of the lower part of your bow, and then softer dynamic uses the upper part of your bow. So that would just be one thing to keep in mind.
Awesome.
All right, at this time, that's as much as we have for me to teach you about positioning with the the violin. Thank you very much for being here.
Anytime, Marcus. Thank you.
And thank you very much for watching. Have a good day.